skydiving crash in Butler, Missouri. Let me say 6 words. Cessna Caravan, Cessna Caravan, Cessna Caravan. There are plenty of used Cessna Caravans all over the United States. To get a new one, it's probably 2-year waiting list because it's so popular. But there's plenty of Cessna Caravans. The plane they were using, the PAC P750, made in New Zealand. This particular airplane was manufactured in 2010. It's a good airplane, but it's made in New Zealand. So you have to get it from New Zealand all the way to the US. Why do people use this airplane and not the Cessna Caravan? Money, a little bit cheaper, a little bit more maneuverable. You can take that plane. This is the way the skydiving, this is the way it works. They take off, they climb as fast as they can. They dump the skydivers out. And that plane can literally come down just like this and land. The skydiving plane many times beats the skydivers down to the ground. Why? They can load again and go again. Load, take off, kick them out, come down, land, load, and they just do it. That's how they make money. They don't want to go up 1 time a day. They want to go up 10 times a day, maybe 20 times a day. So that's the reason for that airplane. The airplane was basically a crop duster, and they made it in, extended it, and kind of made it into a skydiving plane. Is it a great airplane? Yeah, it's a great airplane. But you don't have the parts. You don't have the mechanics. In the United States, they don't want to work on a New Zealand airplane because they don't have the parts, they don't have the training. If you're going to be a full-fledged mechanic on a Cessna Caravan, a good company is going to send you to school. They're going to send you to 6-week school, 4-week school, 2-week school to learn how to work on that plane. Any mechanic can work on it. This is a 172. A Cessna Caravan is basically a big giant 182 with a turbine engine in it. It's got the PT6 engine, basically the same engine that's in that PAC 750. If you take me to any airport in the United States, I can get out and name 99.9% of the airplanes on the ramp. If I saw a PAC 750 sitting on the ramp, I'd have no clue what it was, where it was from, who made it, or anything. The reason they get these planes, it's about money. It's a cheaper plane. Maybe they wanted a Caravan, but they couldn't get one. And the broker said, look, we got this PAC 750 sitting over here. It can do the job faster, quicker, cheaper. It's about money. That's why the people get in these planes. If you're skydiving and you go out to the airport and it's not a Caravan or a King Air, don't even get in it. Don't even get in it. Just don't get in kit planes. Don't get in airplanes made in Australia and New Zealand and China. Don't get in them. If you're a skydiver and it's not a Cessna Caravan, I wouldn't even get in it. Okay. So the PAC P750, it's a very capable airplane. I don't know how much training the pilot had. A lot of times these outfits, they do in-house training and they put a 500-hour pilot up there. All you got to do is have a commercial. You don't even have to, a lot of times you can have a restricted commercial. You don't even need a multi. You don't even need an instrument rating. We don't know. That pilot might have had 20,000 hours, but I know this. If you take off and you lose an engine, you cannot make that impossible turn back to the runway. You cannot make that impossible turn to the highway. To procedure. There's too many aircraft crashes every year. When people say, I gotta save the plane, I gotta save the plane, I gotta save the plane. Most of the time is because they knew they took off something illegal with the whole situation. And they're trying to save the plane, so there's no paperwork, there's no FAA involved. If your gear won't go down, if you lose the engine, if there's any trouble in the plane is the insurance. Right at that moment, this plane belongs to the insurance company. I'm thinking about Glenn. The VIP on the airplane is not the people in the back. It's the pilot. You take care of yourself and they're gonna be okay. Butler, Missouri is as flat as, you can't get any flatter. If you lose an engine in any airplane right after takeoff, land straight ahead. Land in a field, tear the prop up, tear the engine up, tear the gear off, but you're gonna get out of the plane and walk away. How many accidents every year, especially rich people in fancy airplanes, lose their engine. I'm gonna make it back to the runway, let my mechanic look. You cannot make that impossible turn. I teach my students to climb VY or VX, whatever's appropriate for the surroundings and the weight of the airplane, the air distance. I go to 1,000 foot. Don't touch anything till you get to 1,000 foot. Now, some instructors teach 700 foot, 600 foot, and they start turning. Well, if you start turning at 600 foot and you lose your engine, you ain't gonna make it back to the runway. You're only gonna make it to the scene of the accident. I teach everybody, I don't care who it is, we don't touch nothing till we get to 1,000 foot. In 1,000 foot, if you're good, you can make the impossible turn. But if you're 600 foot, you can't make the impossible turn. But still, if you lose an engine or have any trouble and you gotta land, straight ahead, the plane belongs to the insurance company. Stop trying to save your license and save your butt and save the plane. You can get another plane, but you can't get another Glenn, okay? The procedure after taking, now if it's 100-foot tall pine trees and it's clear on both sides, you're gonna have to try to make a turn and get out of there. But that situation there, he could have landed straight ahead. The eyewitnesses said it had engine trouble. A PT-6 doesn't have engine trouble. A PT-6 has bad fuel, wrong fuel, or poor maintenance. It doesn't just break. That's like a Briggs & Stratton 3.5 lawnmower engine. It never breaks down. What breaks down is leaving the fuel in it all winter and trying to crank it in the summer, or putting the wrong fuel in there, or dirty fuel, or fuel with water, or not putting oil in it. It's the person running it that breaks it. We don't know what happened. I don't know. It might have been the people shifted and moved to the back and got off balance. I think that plane can take 4,500 pounds. You know, it had 11 people in there, a little bit of fuel. They don't fill the plane up with fuel because they're trying to go up, come down, go up, come down, as quick as they can. So to save weight, they don't fill that plane up with fuel. It's probably got 2 hours of fuel. It can probably hold 4 or 6 hours. I don't know. I don't know nothing about a pack 750. We don't know what happened. But still, rushing, taking off, turning quick, that plane can do it, but when you lose your engine, the plane can't do it. It's gonna crash. They were low, slow, they made the turn, they stopped. If you're flying straight, if this 172, okay, let's say this is a Pack 750. It's got 11 people in it, and it's going skydiving. It's loaded. I think it climbs at 80 or 90 knots. It can climb, but you're putting the whole thing on a propeller. Climb a little slower, a little lower, get your altitude a little quicker. Stop trying to rush. Let's do 12 skydive jumps instead of 10. 1,000, don't touch nothing until you get 1,000 foot. Then make your turn. They were making their turn, you know, low above the runway, trying to do 12 trips rather than 10. That's speculation. I don't know that. I don't know if the engine quit. I don't know if a part failed. I don't know if a drone hit it. I don't know if they hit a bird. I don't know if everybody in the plane suddenly moved to the back. They get a good talking to before they take off. Stay in your position. Don't be moving around. Maybe they hit some turbulence and it threw everybody in the back and they got off. I don't know. But I teach 1,000 foot before you make any turns or do anything. That way, at 1,000 foot, you got time to make a decision. Land straight ahead, turn to the right, turn to the left, or come back. Before you take off, you gotta look at the map and you gotta look at the surroundings of the airport. Every airport I take off from, I look at the map in case I lose the engine. Can I land straight ahead? Can I land to the left? Can I land to the right? I know that beforehand. I teach my private students when we do cross countries to be thinking in your mind before you take off. You look at every airport you're gonna cross over in case you lose the engine, have trouble, and you have to land quick. And while you're traveling, I ask them, where would you land? Where would you land? Where would you land? And they're constantly looking on their foreflight as they pass over these airports, so they have a working knowledge of that. So you have to plan that before you take off. What if I have an engine failure? Am I gonna go to the left, to the right, or land straight ahead? Too many crashes every year. People trying to be a hero and save the plane. And they kill the plane, everybody in the plane, and everybody in the house that they hit when they crash. That plane could have very easily landed straight ahead. It's just sad. It's just about money. It's always about money. You know, those skydiving planes, they want to take off, bang, get up, kick out the people, come down, land, do it again, do it again, do it again. It's a very dangerous industry. That plane is capable, but you're only as good as the fuel you put in the plane and your maintenance and your training. So, terrible situation. 11 people dead. More will come out. First thing they're gonna do, they're gonna check the fuel. They're gonna check the pilot. What training does he have? A lot of times these little mom and pop organizations, they'll send the main guy to training. I doubt there's anywhere you can get in a simulator for a PAC 750. Probably have to go to New Zealand. And there's probably not one in New Zealand. You probably have to do all the training in the airplane. If you lose an engine in that plane at 500 foot, everything happens quick. You gotta feather that prop. If that prop is not feathered, it's just like a big sheet of plywood. Speed brake. You don't have a lot of time to make your decision at 500 foot when you're heavy and you got the plane loaded. You gotta feather the prop, look for a place to land, get your airspeed, lower the nose. You gotta do all that quick. You can't do all that in 30 seconds. You gotta do all that in 3 seconds at 500 foot above the ground. If you're climbing straight out and you lose the engine, then you got more time to lower your nose. But you should already know. You should have a plan in your head already when you take off. If you lose an engine at 300 foot, 200 foot, 500 foot, 1,000 foot, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to the left, to the right, or straight ahead? Butler, Missouri, it's flat. I mean, if you land in the farmer's crops, you're gonna have to pay for the crops, but the insurance is gonna pay for it. The insurance is gonna pay the plane, the crops, everything. When you lose an engine, the airplane belongs to the insurance company. You do what you gotta do to save yourself and the passengers. Don't worry about trying to save that plane. It's just tragic. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, and share, and comment. If I'm wrong on something, tell me. If you have a question, ask me. I'll do my best to answer it. If you have an airplane crash you want to hear about, or anything like that, message me and I'll make a video. Thanks.